Hello and welcome to my review of the Skink Starseer for Seraphon for Warhammer Age of Sigmar from Games Workshop. Now, one of these models will cost you £35 and consists of 47 plastic components. That's quite a lot of plastic components compared to the only 14 of the Astrolith Bearer. You know, we're going from 14 to 47. That's an extra 33 components. It does come in the same size box, but contains 2 sprues, has a larger base, and has a number of options and poses and things, and we'll go through those in a bit. The format of this review is as follows. We'll have a look at the miniature, we'll go through all of the detail and things and how it was to build. Then we'll look at the spare parts, of which there are quite a few. Then on to the size comparisons, and finally I'll go through all of the rules of the Starseer. Unfortunately, at the time of this review, I had not yet completed the build for the Slan Starmaster. However, in his review, I will of course, bring this Skink Starseer over to it and compare it, and the same with Lord Croak. When I pick up Lord Croak, which will be very soon, I will compare Lord Croak to the other kind of Starseer wizards, in this Seraphon army. So let's get straight into it. Let's have a look at the miniature up close. As you can see, I've got the box there. I've gone for this pose that's on the box, and I think I might have even gone for the actual dial, same dial. This is the other pose you can go for. It's probably best showing it in kind of colour, where he's kind of sat on his toilet. I don't know, he just sat down on this thing with a different staff, which I do find cooler because it's like a crystal thing, and he's just holding this orb. But this is the pose I've gone for, where he's stood up with his hand hovering over it. I thought that was better, but I guess you could get a second one if you felt like spending £35 on a skink wizard. Here is the miniature itself. I, of course, have not glued him onto the plinth thing. He's just free flowing. Why would you glue him without painting him on there? Why would you do that? But yeah, the miniature itself, quite straightforward to build. You will get some mould lines and some gaps all the way through because this bottom section of the plinth doesn't join up directly. You're going to need some green stuff and things to fill those. It's a bit awkward, but putting it onto the base was fine. There's plenty of attachment points, and I think it gives a nice impression of it hovering about. It's a bit tricky to get central on that base because of this extra kind of log that you could put on there. You don't have to. This is the different dial. If we just have a look at the detail there of that dial, you've got a different sort of internal section there. Actually, just looking at it compared to the box, that's a different one. Maybe I should have used that one, but yeah, and you've got plenty of like vines and plants and things wrapped around it. Again, you've got a bit of a gap there all the way around. That's quite hard to not miss. And then the Starseer himself, he looks quite cool. He'll be fun to paint, put some colours on, and the staff actually doesn't look too bad. But yeah, he will just, there's a bit of a gap there, look. But he will just, once he's painted, which I'll go through on a live stream, possibly, I will then kind of glue him in place there. So yeah, and he'll just fit on like that. So quite cool, smaller than I expected. The whole model, but had more parts and more options than I expected too. Speaking of which, I mean that leaves me. Oh, he's had a few to drink. Speaking of which, that leads me over to the spare parts, which are right here. So we've got them. This is the different dials that you can opt for. I think it would go in like that. I mean, nothing's stopping you from using this on a base, or I don't know, you could probably use it somewhere else in an army, but yeah, that's quite cool. Dials and things that you could possibly use. Then you've got this, which is this little throne that you can sit on. You've got different kind of face plates here. There's at least one different one. yeah, you can have this there instead of being attached by that log. Different horn thing, different leg, a whole different skink. I mean, you could potentially actually glue this skink together and make a completely separate one if you wanted to. I mean, he's going to be in the pose of sort of sitting down, but I guess you could just glue him onto there and call it a day, and then just have him kind of sat down and, you know, moved about off of there. I think that's possibly what you could do. I'll definitely go away and build him and get back to you on that, but I think that's a possibility. So yeah, they're the spare parts. On to the size comparisons then. Well, of course I can't compare him to the Slan Starmaster, but I can compare him to the other model I recently picked up, which is the Astrolith Bearer. Astrolith Bearer, more than 3 times fewer parts, and is just more of a presence, I think, and that Astrolith is huge. He's a bigger model. So if you're on the fence of which one to get, it really depends on what sort of force you're building and the rules and things. But from a looks point of view, I just prefer the Astrolith Bearer. Compared to, obviously, Soros, Warriors, that's where the the Starseer is going to fall. Compared to just a normal skink, obviously he's skink size, isn't he? So, you know, if you've got an army of skinks and things, he's going to be big next to the skinks. Speaking of skinks, you've got some riders here. Oh, he's drunk too. You've got the Raptidon riders, chargers. So that's where he holds up. He's taller than a Raptidon, and obviously bigger than the Chotek. But I think a Croxigor, I think he's a bit bigger than a Croxigor too. Just a little bit. But that's just awesome though, look. Just shows you how big these Croxigors are. You know, he's on his throne thing, and the Croxigor is taller than him. Yeah, crazy. Same size base as well. And then of course we've got the Agrodon rider. If he'll go back on his mount, he should do. There you go. Agrodon rider. Yeah, it's a fair bit bigger than the Starseer. It was getting a bit crowded there for a moment, so let's do some final comparisons just with the usual 40k miniatures I like to compare them with. So we've got Sly Marbo, a Space Marine and an Intercessor. Oops. I think the Skink is smaller than Sly Marbo, way smaller than a Space Marine and a Intercessor. But the Intercessor probably comes up to chest level, maybe. Anybody who has 40k or Space Marines, that's how big the Intercessor is compared to the Starseer. Okay, so this is my part of the review where I will go through all of the rules for the Skink Starseer. You'll find his rules in the Seraphon 3rd edition Age of Sigmar Battle Tome, and he is not near the front like the Astrolith Bearer. He's actually after all of the Soros units really, but he's the first skink, I guess, in the book, after the special unit Kixi Taka, the Diviner, and the Starblood Stalkers, of course. So the Skink Starseer, as you'd expect, is a leader model and will cost you 150 points. One of the most expensive skinks you can get. To put it in perspective, compared to the Slan Starmaster is another 125 points more. So, you know, a nice cheaper variant of a leader model there, and is 10 points more than the, you know, Astrolith Bearer that I recently reviewed. So what do you get for these 150 points? Well, it's a movement of 5 inches, save of 4+, bravery 6, 6 wounds. It's not too bad. I just wish he would move a bit quicker. You know, 5 inches isn't the best. A Skink Starseer is armed with an Astromancer's staff, and the Astromancer's staff is a range 2-inch, 2 attacks, 4+ to hit, 3+ to wound, rend of -1 and damage D3. It's not too bad at all. He is a wizard, so the unit can attempt to cast 2 spells in your hero phase and attempt to unbind 2 spells in the enemy hero phase, and fly. The unit can fly. Scry the Stars is the first ability, and once per battle in your hero phase, you can say that this unit will scry the stars. If you do so, roll a number of dice equal to the number of the current battle round. For each 2+, you can pick one friendly Seraphon unit on the battlefield. That unit has a ward of 5+ until the start of your next hero phase. It's pretty good. It's a shame that you have to roll for it though, you know, but it can be anywhere on the battlefield. So that's pretty good. You can pick multiple units, because it says for each 2+, you can pick one friendly Seraphon unit. So if you get multiple 2+s, depending on the battle round, you're getting the 4+ ward save, which is fantastic. It means that, you know, it's the whole battlefield, so this thing can be hidden away somewhere and just scrying the stars. It doesn't have to be within the 12 inches that the Astrolith has, and the Astrolith, although it doesn't have to roll, it is only a 6+ ward save. Celestial Doom. It's a spell that has a casting value of 7 and a range of 12 inches. If successfully cast, pick one enemy unit within range and visible to the caster. Until the end of your turn, ward rolls cannot be made for models in that unit. So that's a bit risky. I mean, for starters, this thing's only moving 5 inches. You know, so after 3 turns, he's moved a whopping 15 inches. So 3 turns, 15 inches with a 12-inch range. That's effective range of 27 inches in 3 turns. I don't really think if you're the enemy you have to worry much about that. And the risk reward as well. I'm not sure whether your opponent's going to risk, you know, bringing this Starseer up close and personal just to negate ward rolls for the unit. It seems too much of a risk to put this unit out in the open, but that's my take on it. Yeah. There are plenty of other spells, of course. The Starseer can use everything from Cosmic Crush, which again has a range of 12 inches. But you can have Celestial Harmony, you can have Speed of Haunchy, which is 18 inches, and Croxigors and Skinks that are not a monster. They can make normal moves. You've got Law of Celestial Domination, so you've got more magic spells. So yeah, he can make a number of magic spells, so don't just think of him as, you know, he's just got the Astromancer's staff and he can give units on the battlefield a ward save. There's more to him than that. You know, he is a wizard. Seraphon are mainly a magical army, I would say, and because of Croak and the Star Master and things. Use him with his strength. Use your magic in your army. If you don't want to use your magic and you just want to go brute force with a bit of nice saving, then of course pick the Astrolith Bearer. But if you want to use the army to its strength, then you can pick the Starseer. Keywords: Order, Seraphon, Skink, Hero, Wizard, Starseer. So what do you guys think of the Skink Starseer? I think it's a nice model, a bit lackluster though, and the price may well put a lot of people off. Yeah, he is 2 sprues. I get that he is 47 plastic components, but did he need to be? Is my big question that I'll drop. I actually think that it would have been better to have a different pose for the Astrolith Bearer than this Skink Starseer. I strongly believe that, you know, if they just push this model out in that pose that you see there, would have been fine. And you know what? For 1 sprue, they could have charged £25 because of the size and 1 sprue and all the rest of it. It's a wizard at the end of the day. You know, you're paying like almost £35 for a wizard. I definitely think they could have done the opposite and, you know, still charge £27.50 for the Astrolith, but give him a couple of extra options, different weapons and stuff from different pose, but brought out a mono pose Skink Starseer for £10 cheaper at £25, maybe pushing it £27.50. But what do you guys think of the Starseer, of the model, of the rules? Please do put your thoughts and opinions down below. It'd be great to hear from you. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for watching. Lord Croak protects.